the future. Sound of London presents Monstrous Psychedelic Bubble by the Amorphous Androgynous.
Hi, this is Gaz Cobain from the Amorphous Androgynous, bringing you another monstrous psychedelic bubble on the Six Mix.
I suggest that you reach deep down inside yourself there and try and find something that'll keep you awake just a little while longer, because this transmission coming up may just rekindle your will to live.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good.
Me too.
How are you?
Great.
Good.
Never better. Excellent. Welcome to a monstrous psychedelic bubble. Past, present, future sounds for your ears and for your soul.
I love everything. Everything.
Let me take this opportunity to welcome my good friend and fellow member of the Amorphous Androgynous, Chris. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, and I'm very glad to be here tonight.
So prepare to have your melons twisted inside your brain.
And what melons are doing inside your brain is none of our business.
Okay, let's get this show rolling with the only appropriate way to start the show, in fact, a track by the Secret Chiefs.
Really great to be here. We're going to have a great show tonight. A really good one. We're gonna start by singing some songs.
What's wrong with this guy?
This track is absolutely bonkers. It is so off it, it's on it.
This is dead air.
No. This isn't dead air at all. In fact, if ever there was a mandate for this show, it is to find music that is so off it, it's on it. Chris,
Yes.
Are you off it or are you on it?
It's like the old saying, are you on the bus or off the bus?
Need we ask? Surely. Everybody is off the bus. Surely. Excuse me. And bizarrely, without rhyme or reason whatsoever, the track kind of morphs into what I can only describe as the Satan's child of Missy Elliott. Get your freak on, get your freak on. Absolutely bonkers. I think this is the first time you've heard it, isn't it, Chris?
No, I've heard it in the gym.
Oh, come on. I don't think you've heard this in the gym.
See, I've heard that Miss Elliott bit.
Oh, I see. No, but you haven't heard this.
No,
Secret Chiefs in the gym, have you?
No, they don't play stuff like that in my gym.
I don't think they play stuff like this in any gym. Although it'd be a hell of an improvement, let's face it.
I haven't gone to the LSD gym yet. That's a concept worth investigating. Maybe people should get people that are on LSD and force them onto the treadmill and see what happens.
What do you think would happen?
I think they wouldn't come to the gym ever again.
The future sound of London. Cosmic space music. Moving further into the future.
Was that Stephen Hawkins? I tried reading one of his books once. I couldn't get my head into it, I must admit.
And where do the Secret Chiefs come in on this?
Well, some would say that they don't come into it at all, but others would say that they're all knowing and they come into it because they know everything.
Defies description. It's like some kind of Balkan pagan monstrosity.
It's like vegetables that have been overboiled. Or a soundtrack, perhaps.
Absolutely. Yeah. The person behind the test tubes on this track has definitely had some experience in the sound lab, hasn't he?
I think so. And bits of it make me think of Charlton Heston running through the cornfields being pursued by apes.
But not this bit.
No, not this bit.
Oh no, this bit.
This bit, here it is now. Run, run, run! The apes are coming!
The Secret Chiefs on the wings of the... How do you think you pronounce that?
Heoma, Heoma, Heoma.
We're quite crazy DJs, we must warn you. You're in for a 2-hour ride through the outer perimeters of cosmic space music.
Prepare to have your minds expanded.
The cosmic jukebox, space music of every kind.
So this is the portion of the show where we play some new music. Would it be fair to say that we have a twinkle in our eye for the music of the past?
Well, I think that there's a lot involving the past. There's a lot to choose from. Why should one be limited to the present? And, if I may, who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past.
Wow.
Cosmic space music.
Maybe people will consciously create parallel universes.
What are you doing, you idiot?
I'm just creating a few parallel universes. Be patient.
Oh, this is gonna change my life for you. I wanna spend my life with you. So we make love on the grass under the moon. No one can tell. Don't be far too. Forever journeying, good loving you. Drift in your eyes, since I love you. I got beats in the fence around the room. Love is to share, mine is for you.
That's the wonderful Sébastien Tellier, La Ritournelle.
The future sound of London.
Cosmic space music.
Cosmic space music.
Moving further into the future.
Cosmic space music. We move again. You're listening to BBC Radio 6, The 6 Mix, with ourselves, the Amorphous Androgynous, the future sound of London, whatever, at the controls for the next 2 hours, setting our sights firmly on the heart of the sun. This is a track from the Earlies that they sent us about 3 years ago. I actually don't know the title of it. It was sent to us with a view to doing a remix. We will get back to you soon about that. Guys, we have a slightly different time frame to most people.
That's because we live in the fourth dimension. Space is an illusion.
The future sound of London.
Get off your cross, it's hot today. Don't you talk your talk, don't you hesitate. And just like the stones on parade, your marching time's just a shot away.
Brothers! Listen to me.
We're all brothers.
Cosmic space music of every kind.
We're all brothers.
A monstrous psychedelic bubble.
Listen to me.
Crazy music.
We're all brothers.
The future sound of London.
Does the world need another DJ?
Does the world need another DJ? I mean, there's a lot of DJs out there right now, isn't there?
There really is.
What if everybody becomes a DJ, Gary? I mean, think about it. You want to buy a pair of trousers? You go down there, the guy says, "Go away, I'm a DJ." You're on the operating table. You need a heart transplant. There's no surgeons. They've all become DJs.
You must remember that God is a DJ.
Possibly. He could be. I never thought about that. God could be a DJ.
And we're the dance floor.
Possibly. That's interesting because we were created by a lesser god. So which god is the DJ? The higher god or the lower god? Would Satan equally be a DJ? Whose tune are we dancing to in life?
Is this man? Is this man a god?
When the sun shone on Vetiver, when the sun shone on Vetiver, when the sun shone down Earth,
This is the wonderful Devendra Banhart. When the sun shone on Vetiver. Is this man a god? I never actually go in search of music anymore. This track actually, it's a perfect example really of music coming to me.
I don't go looking for music anymore either. I've got a noisy neighbor. Unfortunately, he likes the laughing policeman. 24 hours of fucking play, you bastard! Whose tune are we dancing to in life?
Dance to your own tune, my friend.
Someday and sometime, the darkness of the night would give way to the brightness of the midday sun in a clear sky.
There's a poster, Destroy Rock and Roll, I keep seeing up, and I sort of think, why not go the whole way and destroy the world?
Because, quite simply, I haven't had the time to grow.
Haven't had the time to grow. Haven't had the time to grow. Now the fire's burned down low. I'm lying in the afterglow, living in your afterglow. I can make it right for you, even if you had to go, even if you had to go. I can walk away from you, only if you want me to. Tell me that you want me to. Even if you had to run, even if you had to run.
I think that as long as we remember we're supernatural beings in a supernatural universe, and everything and anything is possible, and that life is an illusion, and that we're indestructible, and that we're pure energy, and once we go past this phase of existence, nothing can really harm us, and that we are all one, that we are God, there's absolutely nothing to worry about.
Supergrass, proving there is life on distant planets. With the epic Run.
The earthly plane is a troubled place.
Where would you run away to?
That's a good question. There's no need to run anywhere because basically you're in your own head.
Is this the place we've chosen to run to? Is this our refuge?
That's a deep question.
Is this what your neighbour sounds like?
No. He's not as pleasant as this. No.
This would drive you pretty mad, though, as well.
Compared to my neighbour, this is very pleasant. I could deal with this.
Yeah.
My neighbour sounds like a male Yoko Ono. Oh no.
Oh dear. I can hear a story coming on.
Once upon a time there was 3 bears. And now there's loads of the hairy bastards.
That sounds quite cosmic, actually. That sounds really good.
I think that's your imagination making that sound.
Hitching a ride on the cosmic freeway with the future sound of London.
Future sound of London. Cosmic space music. Moving further into the future.
I think that was pretty cool.
From the Ocean's 12 soundtrack album, Piero Umilinion, or something like that. I can't pronounce it, actually.
Have you seen this movie?
Actually, I haven't. I didn't make it beyond Ocean's 11.
I've only seen the original Ocean's 11.
Oh no, another remake, folks. It's a remake.
Yeah, it's actually a remake of a not a particularly good movie, so they didn't touch anything sacred. Why bother?
Change your heart.
Change your heart.
Look around you.
Look around you.
Beck, ladies and gentlemen.
Change your heart. It will astound you. And I need your loving like the sunshine. And everybody's gotta learn sometime. Everybody's gotta learn sometime. Everybody's gotta learn sometime.
Everybody's got to learn sometimes.
Oh, that's terrific. Yeah.
What have you actually learned in your life?
Let me think. What have I learned? See, it's a very deep question. So what have I learned? I suppose I've learned that I don't know anything, which I think is actually quite wise in its own way.
What do they know? Absolutely nothing, and that's the beauty.
But let me get this straight. You've learned that you know nothing.
Yeah.
But you think that's pretty smart.
I think that. I think there's a lot of people out there think they know something and they don't know anything. You know. So
Sure.
I think that's more dangerous. And if we look at life, they tell us lots of stuff. You know, regarding history, regarding the news, and I think it's just all a pack of lies. Lies.
We want the truth, boys. The truth.
Lies.
When are you going to learn?
I don't know.
Actually, this is from a film too.
Oh, what film's that?
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I like the idea of erasing memory.
Yeah,
Surely that would have appealed to you.
I done a lot of that on my own. There's funner ways of doing it, Gary, trust me.
So what do you have here? A big, elaborate joke that's only funny to two people in the universe. You and you.
So strange and so real.
This is the Amorphous Androgynous, the past, present, future sound of London, on the 6 Mix, BBC Radio 6, playing you some outer space fantasy music courtesy of the man Joe Meek. We'll be discussing him, his life, the play Telstar, then going into a cosmic mix of the frenetic up-tempo beat bongo variety, playing you some tracks from our forthcoming album Alice in Ultraland, and of course continuing the journey riding the back of the Monstrous psychedelic bubble after this short break. Welcome back to the 6 Mix on BBC Radio 6. With ourselves, the Amorphous Androgynous, the future sound of London.
How can I tell her what's in store for me? I hear a new word calling me.
In the background now you can hear Joe Meek's Outer Space Music Fantasy.
Scare me. What else scares me?
Does Joe Meek scare you?
No. Well, he would scare me if he was coming at me with a gun. Because we know he's used it before and he might use it again. He's a very interesting man, Joe Meek. He had the first British act to have a number one in America with Telstar.
I went to see the Joe Meek play last week, the final night of the run in the West End, Telstar, and I must confess it was the best play I've seen ever. I have no guilt in saying that I walked from the theatre with tears streaming down my face, because I actually really felt sorry for myself. Of course, what I'm trying to say is that I felt terribly moved by the plight of a fellow suffering artiste, striving against the forces that be to write this wonderful music.
Apparently he was tone deaf as well, do you know that? It's true. He loved music, but he was actually tone deaf, which is interesting. And I think Joe Meek was a genius. Well, they say he was the English Phil Spector, don't they?
Did Joe Meek ever meet Phil Spector?
No. But they both shot people. That's interesting, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
But not each other.
Not each other, no.
Are you sure?
Well, they're divided by the Atlantic. Maybe in a previous life. Maybe they were gunslingers. This town ain't big enough for two producers.
Joe Meek, of course, lived on the Holloway Road, and having seen that play, I'm very tempted to walk down the Holloway Road and see if I can see the flat. Would you know which number of Holloway Road it was?
No. I don't know which number it was. But I know that he killed his landlady with Heinz's hunting rifle, and Heinz was the bass player for the Tornadoes, and Joe Meek was in love with Heinz. And I think what was fascinating about Joe Meek was he worked with very little. I mean, he slept and ate where he worked, and he was like a bedsit, more or less, wasn't it? And he recorded. And apparently to get a lot of the drumming he got was just by people jumping up and down on the stairs. There's a whole cult around him. He used to try to contact the ghost of Buddy Holly. Did they show that?
That was in there.
Did they show they used to record cats in cemeteries? And some of them used to sound like they were talking to him. There was that as well. And Joe Meek has got just so much stuff, and a lot of it's very charming, very nice music. He did a lot of mistakes. Like he turned down the Beatles, but obviously he wasn't the only one to make that mistake. But then again, I suppose someone like the Beatles probably wouldn't have appealed to Joe Meek. He probably couldn't have been puppet master to the Beatles.
The future sound of London. Cosmic space music.
I would recommend, if anybody likes something a little bit out there and bizarre, it's worth checking Joe Meek. And you'll find some Joe Meek stuff that is very poor, to say the least. But amongst the stuff, there's some real treasures. Some really nice, obscure 60s stuff there. That's really, really good.
You'll notice we only used approximately 8 bars of Joe Meek there.
Oh, right.
Because that's, in my estimation, how unlistenable that album is. But
that album isn't the most listenable. It's interesting, but that album isn't.
Well, I think actually that was originally made as a demonstration of the capabilities of stereo sound, actually.
Oh, right. But there is some, like I said, some bizarre stuff there as well that you probably don't want to listen to. There's a song about asthma I remember he made, which I didn't particularly like, and I remember there's one about a guy who loses some money.
About what?
Asthma.
As in?
Yeah, and he's got that effect going through the record.
Oh, wow.
We'll have you reaching for your inhaler in no time. There's a few silly novelty things. I remember reading an interview with...
Okay, that's enough.
Yeah, sorry.
That really is enough on Joe Meek.
Yeah. Sorry.
Actually, if we can convince the BBC to do a whole special on Joe Meek, then I'll put you forward.
All right.
Yeah?
They did do an arena documentary on him a few years ago. Yeah,
and were you questioned?
No, not at all.
What does that tell you?
Is that it? Jesus, it's a bit heavy, isn't it?
Very weird.
Actually, I found it very interesting.
And interesting, I thought.
I thought it was indulgent.
Did you?
I thought it was fascinating. I thought it was very difficult.
So this brings us nicely into one of our own tracks, actually. The Emptiness of Nothingness. And just to remind you who these crazies are. On the radio, it's Amorphous Androgynous, continuing the legacy of the monster raving loony party. Here we are with a monstrous psychedelic bubble on the 6 Mix, BBC Radio 6. From our new album, Alice in Ultraland, out on the legendary Harvest label. And aren't we proud of being on Harvest?
We are.
Can you refresh my memory what they put out in the legendary day of yore?
Neil Young?
No, that was an album called Harvest, you goof.
Oh, yeah, sorry. We got mixed up, yeah.
Syd Barrett, I think we could definitely count.
Sorry.
And Pink Floyd, of course, and the Electric Light Orchestra.
Were they on Harvest?
Absolutely, the first album was, yeah. And Deep Purple.
All right.
And now, Amorphous Androgynous. For those people that suggest we've become the retro sound of London rather than the future sound, we have a quote, which I'm going to get the eminent Chris, the ambassador of Atlantis, to read for us.
The present and the past are perhaps both present in the future, and the future is contained in the past. T.S. Eliot.
What other albums did he make?
The Wasteland.
Did that have a good bass line?
It had Keith Moon on drums. Mind you, I thought putting Keith Harris and Orville on backing vocals was a bad idea.
I crave silence a lot of the time.
Silence is nice.
I find the constant need to listen to music kind of absurd at points.
Silence is nice. Come on, baby, let's take a trip where minds don't usually go. Come on the amazing journey and learn all you should know.
My heart is as open as the sky.
We're going into the repetitive strain syndrome part of the evening now. We're playing some repetitive beats. How are you with repetitive beats, Chris?
I'm fine with repetition in general.
Combining the music of the ages.
Cosmic space music.
Electromagnetic machines, psychedelic dreams. Electromagnetic dreams, psychedelic machines. Take the mind where minds don't usually go. Come on the amazing journey and learn all you should know.
Future sound of London.
We started the mix there with Dynasty Crisis from the Ocean's 12 soundtrack. What Are We Stealing? Neatly segued into this one, a white label of ours, Coconut. You're listening to the Amorphous Androgynous, a Monstrous psychedelic bubble on the 6 mix.
Do you know that Hitler experimented with psychedelics? And apparently the Third Reich were on cocaine. And this was well before Kate Moss was even born.
Well, they don't get much publicity for that either, do they? They should get Max Clifford on the case.
Maybe if there'd been tabloid newspapers in those days, the Third Reich would never have risen.
What, is it a cake? Buffy Sainte-Marie. Or is it Saint Marie?
I think it's Saint.
Oh, okay. Buffy Sainte-Marie. He's the keeper of the fire.
Is that a cuckoo in the Garden of Eden?
The future sound of London. Cosmic space music, moving further into the future.
Before the sun, the moon, the earth. Before the stars or comets swarming free. Before time had its birth, I was, I am, and I will be, and I will be, and I will be, and I will be, and I will be.
the sublime cosmic groove of the mystic moods. That's called The Cosmic Sea. Before that you heard Silver Apples, Oscillations. If you've just tuned in, you're in the very capable hands of the Amorphous Androgynous, steering the mothership lovingly through the outer perimeters of space music, giving your ears a good syringing, a monstrous psychedelic bubble.
Forget it.
We're heading into another break shortly. We'll leave you with this one from the late, great Tim Buckley. I never asked to be your mountain. Interesting to note, actually, that this was one of the very few tracks of his father's that Jeff really, really loved, and definitely a favourite of ours. After the break, we'll be immersing you in influences too far and too wide to mention, but we'll attempt to give you a taste of those. And we'll be talking to the man who joins the dots between this track, Jeff Buckley, the Captain Beefheart, and ourselves, the Amorphous Androgynous. And he is someone who's been described at various points as one of the greatest living guitarists around today. That's the great Gary Lucas, who was in the Captain Beefheart band, now touring with the Magic Band, and wrote Mojo, Pin and Grace with Jeff Buckley. We're not worthy, but we're honoured, and we have him on the phone from New York, where he's taking a rare breather at the moment, before embarking on a series of dates with ourselves, the Amorphous Androgynous, who are travelling to Australia for a series of concerts in November. All of that is coming after the break.
Tells me of my child, wrapped in bitter tales and heartache, he begs for just a smile. Oh, he never asked to be a mountain, he never asked to fly, and through his eye comes his love, and tells us not to cry. With a dancer called the Queen, and with her stolen cards he plays and laughs but never wins. Oh, the child dreams to be his hands in the counting of the grain, but only barren breasts he feels, for her milk will never drain. As I die, I can't remember where I saw the rain. Could it be that her laughter drove me down again? Charming dancer, will you stop and talk to me? Is there someone else you feel in your dreams? Who will you see? In midnight gazes I found you far from me. Please leave me down. Oh, flying fish, please flutter by my door. Yes, you can drink my lies, the fish you read my eyes. Each one is titled, I'm drowning back to you. I can't swim your waters if you can't walk my land. And I'm sailing all my sins and I'm climbing all my fears, and soon I will I never asked to be your mountain, I never asked to fly. Remember when you came to me and
See you on the other side. Welcome back to the Six Mix on BBC Six Music with us, the Amorphous Androgynous. Welcome, dear friends. It's the Amorphous Androgynous on the radio, but not the radio like I remember it. It's this new radio, digital radio. Less chat, more music.
Yeah.
It is a strict policy of this music station that there should be less chat and more music. You have been officially warned.
So get on with it. Play the bleeding music, will ya? For God's sake.
Cosmic space music.
Don't forget, you can of course check the website bbc.co.uk/6music if you want to get in touch with us, or simply of course to check the full track listing of this and any other show. Our own website of course as well, amorphousandrogynous.com, or indeed futuresoundoflondon.com. All paths lead here. The track you're currently listening to, Ananda Shankar, In Remembrance of You. And before that, Noonday Underground, London. It was really the music of Ananda Shankar that opened up a whole new doorway for us at the end of the 90s. Records which he'd made 30 years earlier in the 70s suddenly seemed to be bubbling around on the London scene and were very, very much making sense. And he actually came over to perform for the first and only time at the end of the 90s on these shores. And I think he was shocked and delighted, of course, to see the response. I was lucky enough to be at that gig at the Garage in Islington, made even more poignant by his untimely death the following year. That night, though, was undeniably a pivotal moment, and certainly led to the development of a new kind of sound for me, and the beginning of me seeing the potential for a new psychedelic dawning.
Curving back within myself, I create again and again and again and again.
Stars of twilight fair.
And there's a place for everybody and everything.
Out of dusky hair.
Is this real?
Does it matter?
This is a beautiful track. One of our favourites. Feel the Spirit.
In the air, and the trick is kind of a good heart and a free thinking will to invoke a spirit.
Do you see the beauty?
I think of the world as an illusion, and we shouldn't take ourselves so seriously.
It's everywhere. Look around.
I know, I've seen
Look
this.
around.
I know this.
Can you see the beauty, Chris?
I try.
You strike me as being a pretty positive fellow.
Yes, but you can't be positive without being negative.
You're surrounded by what you create. You're the king of negative energy.
I was talking to someone who had a long time ago been talking. He said, never create a movement because you'll just create the opposite movement, which is an interesting concept. So if you create a movement that does this, you create the anti-movement. If you create a love movement, there'll be a hate movement. Or vice versa. If you create the hate movement, you'll be unintentionally creating the love movement. Don't do anything at all! Sit still! Don't move! Don't make any problems! Don't ever look another person in the eye!
Hey, Tom, where you going with that flower in your hand? Hey, punk, where you going with that flower in your hand?
So, what about if we just join a psychedelic band?
That would be really groovy, but someone's going to hear us and they're going to say, hey, let's create the anti-psychedelic band, which is sort of what happens in music, isn't it?
Electromagnetic machines and psychedelic dreams.
So what do you know about this crazy woman, Betty Davis?
Only what you told me, that she was married to Miles Davis.
Well, she turned him on, actually.
Turned him on?
Yeah.
What?
In multiple ways, obviously, but she turned him on to the whole, the clothes, and took him to Fillmore.
All right.
And introduced him to various cats on the scene.
All right.
Like Jimi Hendrix?
And generally brought about his psychedelic dimension, apparently. Let's face it, it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But Betty Davis was...
is his muse.
Indeed. crazy sounds of the Monstrous Psychedelic Bubble.
I think I'm falling in love again. When I get that
Okay, this is the section of the show where we reveal some of the many, many, many influences that have infused our music over the years. Hopefully touching upon some surprising areas, although nothing really is a surprise anymore, is it? I think maybe we've already blown our load with the surprising influences.
Possibly, but you never know what's going to influence you.
Dirty rat, you're the guy, you're the guy, you're the guy, you're the guy.
Help me, I think I'm falling in love again. Are you partial to a bit of Joni Mitchell?
Love one another.
The vitriol that Bob Dylan received when he turned electric, not having been around in those days, I thought it had been exaggerated until I saw the Scorsese film, and then I was dumbstruck to see just how real and how extreme actually it was. Now you hear similar things said about Joni Mitchell when she made the transition from folk goddess into electric goddess. Was it as extreme, do you think?
Well, probably because a folk person is probably going on a whole different energy. Energy.
The universe is the instrument of God, and He intends us to play and have fun.
The future sound of London.
We were doing like small clubs, and the buzz got about, and suddenly it was packed, and there was like all these like celebrities coming along, which sort of freaked me out a bit because I was very young.
I had a call that might interest you. And a new character entered our story.
As discussed earlier in the show, we have Mr. Gary Lucas at the end of a phone line, who's going to be joining the dots between some of the tracks we played. We played Tim Buckley, I Never Asked to Be Your Mountain. We've played Captain Beefheart, Electricity. And we've played some Jeff Buckley on the show, and of course we've played our own music, Amorphous, Androgynous. You join the dots between those various diffuse points on the musical spectrum?
Yes.
Can you explain how you join the dots?
Okay, in case people aren't aware of my checkered career, I had a spell of about 4 or 5 years in Captain Beefheart and the Magic Band, first as a featured guitar soloist on the records, Doc at the Radar Station, and also Ice Cream for Crow. On Ice Cream for Crow, I became a full-fledged member of the band. I continued to perform with the ongoing Magic Band reunion. I was very fortunate indeed to be a close collaborator with the late Jeff Buckley. He actually served for about a year in my band based in New York, Gods and Monsters. And I'm probably best known there for the 2 songs that were hits for him, Mojo Pin and Grace. We co-wrote these things together. The story goes that they were doing a tribute to Tim Buckley. The producer, who's an old friend of mine, contacted me in 1991 and said, we're going to do this big memorial concert, and I'd very much like you to perform. And by the way, we've been contacted by the son of Tim Buckley. I said, well, gee, I didn't know that Tim had a son. He said, neither did we. But he's come forward and contacted us, and he wants to pay respects to his dad. And, I think you'd be a good collaborator. So I met Jeff, and we hit it off straight away, and got busy working on arrangements of one of his father's songs. It was The King's Chain from Sophronia, but then another song that we did in the show, and in fact it was the first time I'd ever stepped out on a stage with Jeff, was this version of I Never Asked to Be Your Mountain. And it was a great moment. You could feel a certain electricity whenever Jeff sang.
And that brings us, of course, to Electricity by the Captain Beefheart Band.
There you go. Now, Electricity goes back to the very first Beefheart album, Safe as Milk, and this is just a great song. At one point I was complimenting Don on this tune, and he said, yeah, well, it's really a square dance. I said, yeah, well, it's got that kind of a bouncy feel to it, and he said, no, I mean, it's really, it's for a bunch of squares dancing. So, I know that when I first saw him perform, which was his debut in New York City, 1971, I made a vow to myself, if I ever do anything in music, it would be to play with this guy. Wow. I thought it was that great. It was just world-shakingly revolutionary, and, it was an honor for me to be involved. So, yeah, I mean, I had my ups and downs with the man, but I still regard him as certainly one of the primal geniuses of 20th century music, and it's as relevant in the 21st century as it ever was. You guys, to me, connect the dots back to what I consider the golden age of music that I grew up listening to in the mid to late 60s. There are elements of that spiritual vibe, that sort of like quest for new sounds, mind-expanding sounds, of what you guys do. I feel that you're definitely channeling the spirit. I really just want to say that the tracks from the new record of Amorphous, Androgynous are very much inspirational for me to listen to and to get into as a player. And I think that, you're tapping into a mother lode of spirit there, which is, to me, the primary function of a musician is to kind of invoke a spirit and to convey the spirit, in a positive way. I do believe that you're doing that.
My friend, it's been beautiful speaking to you.
Oh, yeah.
You have well and truly joined many dots.
I try.
And I look forward to seeing you soon.
Yeah, me too, man.
Take care.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Gary Lucas will be joining us on stage in Australia, headlining the Earthcore Festival at the end of November, and we're going to be rehearsing for the next couple of weeks, so I will be seeing him very shortly, actually. And the only satisfactory way, really, of completing the dots is to play a track from our new album, Alice in Ultraland, which features the nimble fingers of Mr. Gary Lucas, a track called The Witch Finder. You're listening to The Six Mix.
I really look forward to turning some of those kids around.
Sometimes she acts crazy like she lost her mind.
Oh yeah.
I figured I'd get a little.
Amorphous Androgynous. The freeway radio sound. Six mix. That's right, you are tuned to the freeway sounds of the Amorphous Androgynous. Oh yeah.
Freedom. Yeah, it's what you want it to be. Freedom. Yeah, it's what you want it to be. Maybe we need something that's psychedelic.
Here it is. Demi Roussos, no less. Right on.
Gonna start riding high. It thrummed up the mountains beyond, where you may see I've drawn signs on the sand, and through the pebbles a light was streaming. A light was streaming.
The cosmic funkoid rocktronic oozescape on the freeway radio wave.
My old friend, didn't you hear me coming? Listen to me. He gave me a secret and told me to bring it to you. Didn't you hear me coming?
The future sound of London.
A time machine. I want to go back to 1967 and have a groovy time. Especially knowing all the things I know now, I could be a real pretentious guru figure and make lots of money. Hand over your money, hippies. Come on. Don't be shy.
My little love.
Okay, move it along.
Hang in there, baby.
Okay, Wicket.
The Amorphous Androgynous.
I don't think the dance culture was as, in my subjective opinion, was as revolutionary as the 60s. I think with the 60s it was tune in, turn on, drop out. I think with the dance culture was a lot of tune in, turn on, and turn up late for work on Monday.
Forgetting.
Let's face it, if you see the hippies as a sellout, well, let's face it, the punks sold out in the same way. And I mean, okay, youth is a fleeting thing, and a lot of us are prettier and cooler in youth. And then we get older and we're maybe not so cool as compared to youth. Such is a condition of mortality. I think the hippies are given a lot of people seem to have a thing against them, and they don't even know why. They just read it in a piece somewhere and they think that's smart.
Wait a minute, hey, come on, this has been given a bad time. Let's really do something about this.
The hippies had some good ideas, and maybe some of the ideas weren't so good.
Good afternoon.
And now we'll place the blue crystal. Very high vibrations. And it's wonderful, wonderful for its healing powers.
And at a specific point, when the energy is being generated within the room, a gong goes. And the idea is that you fall to your knees and you turn and transform that energy into inner contemplation.
You have to look inside.
If meditation had been incorporated into the rave culture, it would have achieved a revolution that we've never seen before.
As they vibrate, you feel the vibration in your inner being. At that point, you were at one with all being, the whole of the river of life. When you reached the sea, this was the experience of the universal mind.
We've all got our individual trip, haven't we?
And here's the good captain, the Captain Beefheart. with his views on electricity.
Now, if you take Beefheart, he psychedelicizes the blues, so we need to replace electricity with some kind of spiritual electricity. Perhaps if we learn to use our minds and our natural telepathic gifts, then we wouldn't need electricity. I personally, though, I've never learned to use my telepathic gifts, and I suspect deeply I have no telepathic gifts. But I can see into the past.
We're really employing that tremendous ability we have tonight, aren't we? To look into the past.
Yeah. There's so much in the past to search through, you know?
Now these guys had some spirit, didn't they?
Oh, they did. The 12 dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. If he had 12 dreams, and 12 is a kind of magic number, isn't it? There was 12 disciples and 12 months.
A dozen eggs.
Yeah. 12 eggs, yeah. Boudica, what a chick, eh? Hubba, hubba, hubba. Led Zeppelin, who distorts the blues.
Led Zeppelin, back in the 70s, singing When the Levee Breaks, which, when you consider the recent catastrophic events in New Orleans, seems incredibly prophetic to me. But I guess Led Zeppelin was so infused by Louisiana, New Orleans blues that maybe songs about the levee breaking are kind of a part of that region's history.
Yeah, and I just thought of American Pie, isn't it? There's a bit where I drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry, and good old boys drinking whiskey and rye, singing "This Will Be the Day That I Die."
We enter the final half hour of the show. Because we've enjoyed it, haven't we?
We've enjoyed it.
Very much.
You might not have, but we've enjoyed it.
And this is the portion of the show where we play a more laid back, let's say, horizontal kind of space music.
So just relax and take it easy.
bit hopeless as a race, aren't we, really? You know, we're just so stupid. What do you think?
I thought it was indulgent. I thought it was fascinating. I thought it was very difficult for an audience that was genuinely ahead of its time.
Sad but true. Indulge us, if you will, though, as we play another track from our new album, Alice in Ultraland. This is the Amorphous Androgynous, and All Is Harvest. The Amorphous Androgynous from the Alice in Ultraland album, All Is Harvest. In its own way as our homage to our record label, which, if I haven't told you already, I'll tell you again, is Harvest. The legendary. Most of the record companies are actually owned by
monsters from another planet.
Radio is a beautiful haven for playing music, actually.
And you know what I think must have been great? You know, in the days before television, when people listened to the radio and they looked at their open fires and they heard stories and their imagination did all the work. You know, I think they had, on a funny kind of way, they had a much healthier, richer imagination.
Now we watch radio on television with a blank screen. So,
yeah.
And I presume some of you at home will be doing that very thing right now.
And so you're probably even just looking at the screen, which is weird, isn't it? You know.
Where peaceful waters flow.
Why do you not have images on your blue screen?
Yeah, something like maybe you could have it like a lava lamp. That would be cool.
Or just anything,
Yeah.
rather than this blue screen. I mean...
A big, maybe a big goldfish swimming around, that would be cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah! Damn that blue screen! I'm tired of that blue screen.
I don't get a blue screen, I just get like as if it looks like the TV's turned off.
Funny that.
When you court young men.
Have you got this on CD, DVD, MP3 or vinyl?
But I've just kind of stick to cassettes and CD now because...
Cassettes? Wow, Chris takes us right back.
And they're gone again. Daybreak.
8-track, now that was good. That was really fun because you could switch channels. That was really fun.
Things were smoking then, weren't they?
I liked 8-track.
If I'd only seen through the silky veils of ardor,
The sweet, sweet, sweet mellifluous tones of the one and only Joni Mitchell. This track is so beautiful. The silky veils of ardor. The sea has almost reached its end. I would have locked up my heart. I would have locked up my heart. The sea is reaching the shore. Another day has almost ended. On the cosmic wheels of steel, mixing up Jeff Buckley tongue with Dead Can Dance, host of Seraphim. One of the most stirring and beautiful pieces of music ever written, in my humble estimation, actually. Various members of Amorphous Androgynous have claimed that they wish for this piece of music to be played at their funeral. And that may be coming quicker than they think.
I am ready. The stream has reached the sea. Fare you well. This day has ended. It is closing upon us. Forget not that I shall come back to you.
Well, it has been an absolute pleasure, but I guess it's time to say goodbye.
So, farewell, radio fans.
Farewell, brothers and sisters. This is the Amorphous Androgynous wishing you a very good night.
And a nice life. May all your dreams be happy. The end. Adieu.
Farewell to you.
Sayonara. Ta-ta. Au revoir. Noch star.
Auf Wiedersehen.
See you. You all come back now, you hear?
Don't be late.
And if you're on your bike, wear white.
And if our hands should meet in another dream, we shall build another tower in the sky.
Are you still here? This is getting silly. We really must go now, mustn't we?